In relationships, intentions shape destinies. Every woman must ask, why is that man here? In times past, a father would demand an answer. What are your intentions with my daughter? Not out of control, but out of wisdom, because the wrong intentions can wound the heart, distort self-worth, and drain the soul. The Bible warns us in 2 Timothy 3:1, "In the last days perilous times will come. Men will be lovers of themselves. Not every I love you is real. Not every pursuit is pure. Some men step into a woman's life not to love, but to control, use, or break her." Today we uncover 8 signs, subtle but revealing, of a man with wrong intentions, because discernment isn't just wisdom, it's protection. Before love blinds, let truth illuminate. Let's begin. Number 1. His words tear you down instead of building you up. Words have power. They can breathe life into you or drain the very essence of who you are. A man with good intentions will use his words to encourage, uplift, and strengthen you. But a man with bad intentions, his words will do the opposite. They will subtly chip away at your confidence, leaving you doubting yourself, questioning your worth, and feeling smaller every time you talk to him. At first, it doesn't seem obvious. A harmless joke about your weight, a sarcastic remark about your dreams, a dismissive comment when you express your feelings. You laugh it off, telling yourself, maybe I'm overthinking it. But deep down, something feels wrong. A toxic man is intentional. He studies your insecurities and drops passive-aggressive remarks in the middle of normal conversations. He masks insults as jokes. He makes you feel guilty for taking offense, flipping the blame onto you. You're too sensitive, but make no mistake, his words are calculated. His goal, to empty your self-esteem so that you become easier to manipulate, easier to control. You tell yourself one day, I'll bring this up. But the truth is, his words are not accidental. They are his greatest weapon. Every conversation is designed to leave you a little more uncertain, a little more insecure. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." A godly man knows this and speaks words that build you up. A toxic man also knows this, but he speaks words that slowly tear you down. Even Jesus addressed this in Matthew 12:34. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. In other words, his words reveal his heart. If a man's words consistently leave you feeling unworthy, unloved, or anxious, it's not an accident. It's a red flag. Number 2, he projects himself as better than you. Some men don't just want a relationship, they want dominance. They create an unspoken hierarchy where they are always on top and you are always beneath them. They make sure you know that they are smarter, more successful, more important. It's subtle at first. He brags about his Ivy League education, knowing you struggled through community college or didn't attend college at all. He constantly reminds you of his privileged upbringing, fully aware that you had to fight for everything you have. He highlights your mistakes while ignoring his own. Philippians 2:3 says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves." A godly man will lift you up. A toxic man will find ways to push you down, sometimes through bragging, sometimes through criticism. This is the same spirit that was in Eliab, David's older brother. Samuel 17:28. When David stepped up to fight Goliath, Eliab's first response was to belittle him. He questioned David's motives and even mocked him. "With whom did you leave those few sheep?" Why mention the sheep? Because he wanted to remind David of his low status, to make sure David stayed in his place. A man like this will never fully celebrate you. Instead, he will constantly make you feel as if you are lucky to have him. He will highlight his strengths and your weaknesses. He may not say it outright, but the message is clear. You should be grateful to be with me. Sometimes it's done through physical appearance. He constantly comments on his own physique, fitness, and discipline, while making subtle remarks about your weight, your style, or your habits. Other times, it's through spiritual arrogance. He positions himself as more righteous, more anointed, more spiritual, while making you feel like you are always falling short. In John 8, verses 4 to 9, when the religious leaders brought a woman caught in adultery before Jesus, they elevated themselves as righteous while casting her down as worthless. But Jesus exposed their hypocrisy. He reminded them that no one is without sin. A man who constantly makes you feel beneath him does not see you as a partner, but as a project. He doesn't want to love you. He wants to control you. Number 3, he keeps you chasing empty promises and assumptions. A man with bad intentions will never give you clear direction. Instead, he will keep you chasing promises that lead nowhere. He keeps you hoping, waiting, assuming, but never committing. He makes big statements that sound deep, but have no action behind them. God told me you're my wife. I see us building something amazing together. I'm just waiting for the right time. Yet months, even years pass and nothing changes. No proposal, no real plans, just more words. Proverbs 13:12 says, "Hope deferred makes the heart sick." Some women spend years waiting on a man to make up his mind. He says he loves me, so I assume marriage is coming. He spends all his time with me, so I assume I'm the only one. But assumptions are dangerous because a man who truly wants you will make his intentions clear. This is the strategy of toxic men. They know hope is addictive. They don't have to commit. They just have to keep you hoping. Because as long as you're hoping, you're waiting. And as long as you're waiting, you're not moving on. This is exactly what happened in Luke 13, verses 6 to 7. A man planted a fig tree and waited 3 years for fruit, but the tree never produced. Finally, he said, "Cut it down. Why let it take up space?" Many women are watering a dead tree. They have invested years in a relationship that has never produced anything real. No proposal, no stability, just excuses. A man with real intentions doesn't leave you confused. He doesn't leave you questioning where you stand. When a man is serious, he takes action. After 6 months to a year, there should at least be a conversation about the future. If a man keeps saying one day, but won't give a time frame, he's stringing you along. If you find yourself constantly chasing empty promises, it's time to step back and ask yourself, how long am I willing to wait for something that may never come? Number 4, he seems like a nice guy, but he wants to borrow money. Some men don't just come into a woman's life looking for love. They come looking for a financial opportunity. They seem kind, respectful, and well-mannered at first. They say all the right things. They present themselves as hardworking and ambitious. But then, at some point, they ask for money. At first, it's something small. Can you spot me $20 until payday? Then it's something bigger. My car broke down. Can you help me with the repair? Before long, he's asking you to co-sign a loan, invest in his business, or pay his bills. Proverbs 11:15 says, "He who puts up security for a stranger will surely suffer, but whoever refuses to shake hands in pledge is safe." A man with genuine intentions will not see you as a financial backup plan. Even if he is struggling financially, a real man will exhaust every other option before asking his woman for money. This is a major red flag, because if a man is comfortable enough to borrow money from you early in the relationship, he's not looking for a partner, he's looking for a provider. There are many women who are financially independent, well educated, and successful, yet they are supporting men who use them. It is tragic to see women with PhDs being manipulated by men with GEDs, not because of education, but because of emotional manipulation. Some women justify it by saying, "Well, I make more than him, so I don't mind helping." But a man with good intentions will feel uncomfortable using a woman for financial gain. Even in cases where a man falls on hard times, he will do everything he can to stand on his own feet. He will not see you as a solution to his financial problems. If a man is comfortable borrowing money from you, it's a sign that his intentions are not pure. He may love what you provide, but that doesn't mean he truly loves you. Number 5, he is obviously isolating you from your safe relationships. One of the clearest signs that a man has bad intentions is when he tries to separate you from the people who love you. A toxic man doesn't want you to have a support system. He wants to be the only voice in your life. At first, it may seem innocent. I don't think your best friend really supports you. Your family doesn't understand our relationship. Your pastor is just trying to control you. He plants seeds of doubt about the people who genuinely care about you. Before long, you notice you're spending less time with your family and friends. You stop answering their calls. You start believing the lies he tells you about them. You begin to depend on him alone. Proverbs 16:28 says, "A dishonest man spreads strife, and a whisperer separates close friends." Isolation is a tactic of control. Once he separates you from your loved ones, you have no one to turn to when things go wrong. You become emotionally trapped in the relationship. This is exactly what happened in 2 Samuel 13, verses 9 to 11, with Amnon and Tamar. Amnon pretended to be sick and asked for Tamar to bring him food. When she arrived, he told everyone else in the house to leave. He isolated her because he knew he couldn't take advantage of her while others were present. A toxic man will do the same thing. He will remove everyone from your life who could protect you. Any man who dislikes all the people who love you has an agenda against you. Another warning sign is that he doesn't introduce you to his people. He keeps his family and friends at a distance. If a man is serious about you, he will want you to know his circle. But if he is keeping you hidden, it's because he has something to hide. A godly man will respect and encourage your relationships with family and friends. He will want you to stay connected to your support system. But a man with bad intentions will try to cut you off from them. Number 6, his life does not match his preview. Some men are masters of false advertising. They present themselves as successful, godly, and stable, but when you look closer, their reality doesn't match their words. He tells you he's a businessman, but he has no real business. He claims to be a millionaire, but he's always letting you pay the bill. He says he's a man of God, but his actions and conversations tell a different story. Matthew 7:16 says, "You will know them by their fruits." A man's true character is revealed over time. Anyone can say the right things for a season, but eventually the truth always comes out. Some men use titles and status to impress women. I'm a lawyer. I'm an entrepreneur. I have powerful connections. But when you ask real questions, the details never add up. You never see his office, never meet his colleagues, and never witness the success he claims to have. This is just like a movie with a misleading trailer. The preview shows action, excitement, and drama. But when you sit through the full film, it's boring, slow, and nothing like what was promised. A man's life should match his words. If he says he's financially stable, he should be able to handle his own responsibilities. If he says he's spiritual, his life should reflect godly values. The problem isn't that he's not successful yet. The problem is that he's lying about who he is. When a man's preview does not match reality, you don't need to wait around to see how the story ends. The truth is already in front of you. Number 7. He flatters you to an uncomfortable extent. Every woman wants to feel desired, valued, and appreciated. A man who truly loves you will naturally compliment you and express his admiration. But when a man is constantly over the top with flattery, to the point where it feels unreal or excessive, it's a red flag. He bombards you with rapid-fire compliments. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I've never met anyone like you. Your smile could light up the whole world. At first it feels good, but soon it starts to feel forced, rehearsed, even manipulative. Proverbs 29:5 says, "A man who flatters his neighbor spreads a net for his feet." Flattery is often a trap. It's designed to distract you from seeing the truth. When a man overdoes it with compliments, he may be trying to lower your defenses so you ignore his flaws or hidden agenda. This is called love bombing. It's when a person overwhelms you with attention and praise in order to gain control. They know that when you feel adored, you are less likely to question their actions. It's like a hunter wearing camouflage. The deer feels safe because the hunter blends in with the trees. But the moment the deer lets its guard down, the hunter takes the shot. A man who is constantly showering you with flattery may be using it to cover up his true intentions. He wants you to be so caught up in the praise that you ignore the warning signs. Number 8. He's always creating a crisis. Some men thrive on chaos, drama, and instability. They keep life in a constant state of emergency, where there's always some crisis, problem, or disaster that needs your attention. At first you feel sympathetic. He's just going through a tough time. But soon you notice that there's always something. His finances are always in trouble. He's always in conflict with someone, his boss, his family, his friends. There's always a major issue that requires your emotional energy. 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace." A man with good intentions will bring stability, not constant drama. A man with bad intentions, he will pull you into his chaos so that you become too emotionally drained to leave. This is a manipulation tactic. He knows that if you are always trying to fix his problems, you won't have time to question the relationship. You won't stop to ask, "Is this what I really want?" because you're too busy rescuing him. The pattern is predictable. 1, things seem fine for a while. 2, suddenly there's a crisis. He's lost his job. He's depressed. Someone has betrayed him. 3, you drop everything to help him. 4, just as things settle down, another crisis begins. Before long, your life revolves around his drama. You become so entangled in his struggles that you stop focusing on your own growth, your own goals, and your own well-being. Some women mistake this for love. They think, if I stand by him through this, he'll see how much I care. But the truth is, he's using these constant crises to keep you emotionally invested. This is why the Bible warns us in Proverbs 4:23, "Guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issues of life." Relationships are meant to bring peace, love, and growth, not confusion, manipulation, and heartbreak. If you recognize these warning signs, don't ignore them. God never intended for you to settle for a man with bad intentions. He calls you worthy, valuable, and deeply loved. Proverbs 4:7 says, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom." Pray for discernment. Trust what God reveals. A real man of God will honor your heart, not play games with it. Don't be afraid to walk away from what is wrong, because when you do, you make room for God's best. Father, thank you for your wisdom and guidance. I pray for every woman who has experienced deception, manipulation, or heartbreak. Open her eyes to see the truth. Strengthen her heart to walk away from anything that is not from you. Help her to recognize her worth, to trust your plan, and to wait for the love that honors and uplifts her. Lord, protect her from false intentions. Fill her with confidence, peace, and wisdom. Let her know she is deeply loved by you. May she choose relationships that reflect your love. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much for watching.